Sam Bankman-Fried is a free man for now. A judge signed off on a bail package agreed upon by his lawyers and prosecutors. The FTX trading founder was released on a $250 million bond. He's required to wear an electronic monitoring bracelet and remain under house arrest at his parents' home. They live in California and are law professors at Stanford University. Bankman-Fried is accused of stealing billions of dollars from customers of his cryptocurrency trading platform. Wednesday, he was extradited to the U.S. from his home in the Bahamas and has surrendered his passport. Well, switching gears now to the latest out of the tourism industry, a once-in-a-generation winter storm is plunging much of the U.S. mainland into some frigid temperatures, some we don't see here in the Caribbean. Over 200 million people, or roughly 60% of the U.S. population, are under some form of winter weather warnings or advisories all across the U.S. Heavy snow and strong winds have now created chaos in the Midwest and in the Northeast, affecting several flights.
Pre-holiday headaches as a historic winter storm bears down on much of the country. Frigid temperatures in Texas led to power outages, leaving some residents in the dark on the coldest day of the season so far.
I'm really glad that I have a fireplace because otherwise I'd be freezing right now.
Heavy snow and wind squalls blasted through the Midwest, causing many shoppers in Indiana to make a mad dash to the stores for last-minute groceries and propane tanks to keep warm.
It's always the first snow that freaks people out.
The icy conditions have wreaked havoc on Christmas travel plans for the millions who are hitting the roads.
Like even in the areas that have been plowed really well, if you get above 40 miles an hour, you start sliding around.
And also those hitting the skies, with more than 12,000 flights canceled or delayed Thursday, according to FlightAware. Chicago's O'Hare Airport was one of the hardest hit.
I have this insane itinerary now. It's been a little nerve-wracking.
AAA estimates that as many as 7 million Americans will crowd into the nation's airports this holiday season. But they can expect flight disruptions to continue as the storm moves eastward.
As long as it was just raining here, I figured that my flight would take off.
Even after the storm passes, the severe cold, freezing throughout much of the country, could slow down the airline's recovery plans for days.
In total, flight cancellations within, into, or out of the United States today have already surpassed the total for all of yesterday. That's according to FlightAware. They currently stand at more than 3,000. As for that, quick freeze temperatures have been plummeting as much as 50 degrees in some areas. Well, switching gears now, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Terrence Drew has called on his predecessor to explain the hundreds of fraudulent marriages that occurred when he was in power. Drew said the former
thousands upon thousands of dollars. And this is how it works. You come, you're married, you divorce, you marry again, and then you pass on the citizenship here, there, and everywhere. That is how it works, Madam Speaker. And then those persons who are involved in it, they say, well, you know, $3,000. Then they get divorced and they're looking for a next marriage because that's another quick $3,000.
Sorry, I was talking to Mitch. Sorry. Mitch, hello? Three, two, one. Well, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Terrence Drew has called on his predecessor to explain the hundreds of fraudulent marriages that occurred when he was in power. Drew said the former Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, who had responsibility for immigration, had a lot to answer for as he revealed what he said was an illegal marriage ring in the Federation. Prime Minister Drew told Parliament that under the scheme, which was perpetrated by members of the Spanish community, were people who were getting citizenship and voting rights.
Thousands upon thousands of dollars. And this is how it works. You come, you're married, you divorce, you marry again, and then you pass on the citizenship here, there, and everywhere. That is how it works, Madam Speaker. And then those persons who are involved in it, they say, well, you know, $3,000. Then they get divorced and they're looking for a next marriage because that's another quick $3,000.
Now, Drew said he had met with members of the Latino community in St. Kitts about the issue.
I had a meeting with the community Because, as I said, we're going to treat people humanely. But I told them this is what we uncovered and discovered. And therefore, we cannot continue that path. It's a whole ring where we were even being questioned to be part of human trafficking.
Well, switching gears now, companies are apparently not feeling the holiday spirit and are giving less when it comes to their holiday bonuses this year. The outplacement firm Challenger, Gray & Christmas released data from the survey of 252 employers on Thursday. It found more than 81% of them plan to freeze the value of holiday bonuses to the same level as last year. Nearly 27% said they would not give a bonus at all. That's up from 4% last year. Experts say companies have become more concerned about a possible economic recession or slowdown. However, the labor market is still incredibly strong, with more jobs available than workers to fill them. And let's face it, we do tend to overindulge during the holiday season, but there are a few ways to enjoy the season without putting on any unwanted weight. Mandy Gaither has more from health experts.
From holiday treats to carbs and casseroles, extra calories can be the gift that keeps on giving.
People can put on anywhere from 0.8 to 3.3 pounds in the holiday from mid-November until mid-January.
Health and fitness expert Joey Thurman says there are ways to maintain your weight this holiday season. Start with slowing down while you eat.
That starts with looking at your food, cooking your food, smelling your food. So right there, you start to just produce those digestive enzymes in your mouth and in your body, so you can start breaking down the food.
Thurman says to give yourself some grace, allow yourself the foods you've been craving, but prepare for it.
A few days ahead of time, think about cutting down your calories a little bit, whether you're weighing your food or just being mindful of your portion size. Try to have protein first, then your veggies and things that are fibrous that fill you up.
Thurman says to try exercise snacking, a short workout before you eat. A number of scientific studies show that this can lead to gains in fitness and health overall. And after you eat, take a short walk.
Why? Because that's a digestion. It's a prokinetic, so that helps burn the calories. And if it's cold outside, studies have reported that when it's cold and you get that shiver, that increases your metabolic rate because your core temperature has to increase.
And just like every other time of the year, make sure you stay hydrated.